Monster Melee! Knight versus Red Dragon Wormling. Ladies and gentlemen, boggles and ghouls, welcome to Monster Melee. I am your game master and commentator, Esper. I'm looking forward to this match. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. One of the most classic matchups we could think of, Knight versus Dragon. The Knight will be entering the dragon's lair into the perilous cave, seeking to reclaim his ancestral treasure, what has been recently claimed by a dragon. Not the oldest of dragons, but still a dragon, fearsome and deadly all the same. The map that I'm using for this matchup is actually called Dragon Lair. It's from my Patreon page. That's Esper the Bard on Patreon. Every month I release a newsletter and an RPG map. There's a bunch of really cool stuff on there. Go check it out. There's free versions of things that you can sign on for, or there are exclusive versions that are more in-depth, that have more content for those who are supporters. Let's take a look at the competitors in today's matchup. We'll start off with the Knight. He is actually a 6th level fighter, a lawful good human Battlemaster fighter. I've built him using the new 2024 Player's Handbook. He's got a really good armor class of 20. He's wearing plate armor and a shield, 70 hit points, speed of 30 feet. He's got the dueling fighting style for the fighter. He has 3 uses of Second Wind. He has Action Surge, extra attack, which is really going to be great, making 2 attacks when he uses the attack action on his turn. Tactical Shift says when he uses his Second Wind, he can move up to half his speed without provoking opportunity attacks. And of course has those sweet Battlemaster combat maneuvers. They're DC of 15, and he's got a lunging attack, a riposte, and a trip attack. The main weapons that he will be using are a longsword, actually a +1 longsword and a shield, or a javelin thrown for a ranged attack. Moving over to the dragon, this is a red dragon wormling, a medium-sized dragon, kind of a younger one. It has a chaotic evil alignment, a challenge rating of 4. I'm also estimating that the Knight has a challenge rating of 4. Armor class is 17, hit points of 75, has a ground speed of 30 feet, a climbing speed of 30 feet, and a fly speed of 60 feet. So this dragon has a number of strengths, has a high AC, has a powerful breath weapon. That's probably its strongest feature. It's pretty strong in melee combat, has blind sight up to 10 feet. Not sure that'll come into play. Is immune to fire, and is also highly mobile. That's probably its other big strength, that it can fly so fast. In a cave terrain here, it's not always going to be able to fly in every single place. Like, the main weakness I can think of for this dragon is that it doesn't have a ranged attack. That's common for dragons. They're not shooting arrows from a bow. They don't have like an at-will cantrip range attack. So let's see. The dragon doesn't want to get locked into melee, but he might get into melee. That might end up happening. And up here is the treasure hoard, the dragon's treasure hoard. Within there, the Knight is looking for an ancestral heirloom that the dragon has recently stolen. It's a golden, ruby-studded chalice, a beautiful, valuable thing. Let's kick off the initiative roll here and get things going. Looks like the dragon has rolled significantly better, so it's going to swoop in close enough to belch its fire breath. It's got a 15-foot cone of 76 of fire, actually. It will stay high enough up to be out of the range of the Knight's sword. Knight's going to make a dexterity saving throw. If he can succeed, he'll take no damage. He got it! Shieldmaster comes to great avail. He is able to block off all the worst of the flames and take no damage. The dragon will then do a bit of flying over this way and ends up landing here up on this higher ledge. The higher ledges or higher shelves are 15 feet up. Moderately difficult to climb should the Knight try to climb. All right, what's he got? Javelin throw. I think that's the plan. So the Knight will come to here, square up with javelin, and loose. 16 barely misses. The dragon might have a bit of cover as well from the ledge. I think it could use the terrain to get half cover. So between the half cover and the iron hard dragon scales, the javelin is repelled. In the new 2024 rules, you can draw weapons as part of the action used to attack. So you could throw 2 javelins, which is very nice. Great for someone who wants to be a thrown weapon specialist. And a 2. Nope, the javelin smashes off the rocky face there. Is there any movement that's really worth it for the knight? Yeah, he wants to keep getting closer to the treasure. That's really what he's here for, to reclaim this valuable relic from his family. Go to the dragon's turn, check the recharge roll for the breath weapon. It got it. It launches in for another essentially bombing run. Belches out flames, 7d6 worth. That is quite a lot of damage. The knight makes a dexterity saving throw. Not good enough this time, though the damage is lesser. He takes 16. And then the dragon will continue swooping past, flies over this way and back up. Does have to do a little bit of climb through the air, so we'll say it is able to land right there. Again, staying out of the reach of the knight's sword. Okay, we go to the knight. Still in the green. That was a bit of a singeing, but he's still all right. Okay, so we'll do another javelin throw. This is his 3rd javelin. And aims and hits. That is some good throwing. Ends up doing just 6 damage. He can re-roll 1 damage roll a turn from Savage Attacker. I think he'll try that here. There we go. Max damage. There's 10 to the dragon. Does he want to put in a Battle Master maneuver? Maybe a trip attack could be interesting. Maybe that's not quite the right moment for it. He will throw a 2nd javelin, though. And that's good enough, even with the cover. And he's going to come to a total of 9 damage dealt to the red wormling. And the thing howls a bit in pain. And the knight will bravely proceed. I think he'll go there and, come flush against the rock wall. I don't know how much cover it could afford him due to the dragon's high mobility. He does have the weapon mastery with 4 different weapons: javelin, longsword, greatsword, and longbow. I think he just has the longsword and javelins on him at the moment. So it's anytime you hit with a weapon that you have weapon mastery with, you can apply its effect. However, the effects don't stack. So the dragon got hit with the slowing effect of the javelin, or the knight applied the slowing effect, reducing its speed by 10 feet for a round, but they don't stack. You can't keep doing a reduction, a continual reduction in the speed. Back to the dragon's turn. Check the recharge on the breath. It did not get it this time. It will do some moving. It's a pretty intelligent creature, actually quite so. It's got a 12 intelligence, so higher than average. So 20 feet on the ground. These tunnels are just not enough wingspan for the dragon to fly through. And then I think it'll dodge from there. The knight, he's feeling quite brave. He'll spend an action to doff his shield. He'll unstrap his shield, get that stowed, and do some climbing, attempted climbing. So here's an athletics check. He's got a +7, I want to say. Quite good and well. And so he'll spend his turn climbing up there onto the stony shelf. Back to the dragon. Recharge roll check. And didn't get it. Will the dragon go into melee? This dragon is no fool. It does not want to get locked into melee with this knight. So it's climbed up along the wall there, and then it will use dodge. And we go back to the fighter. He'll don his shield again. He'll put his shield back on and do some tactical moving here. I think he'll go there to get some good cover. Back to the dragon. Breath weapon. It is recharged. The dragon climbs along. It can do it. Some superb climbing. It unleashes another belch of flame. And the fighter will make the dexterity saving throw. Natural 20. He takes nothing. Your fire will not avail you. And, well, I think he's still going to do a javelin throw on his turn here. Let's try that. Javelin throw. This is like javelin number 5. That is a hit. Javelin damage. That's 9. Does he try the trip attack? He'll try it. I think it's going to be hard to knock the dragon off since it is climbing, has its claws in the rough rocky wall. Anyhow, so let's roll the damage roll for the maneuver, the combat superiority die. So the knight has dealt a total of 15 damage to the dragon there. All right, so here's how I'm going to do this. This is actually going to require a little bit of GM adjudication. What I do in my games is if someone gets potentially knocked down a pit or knocked off a wall while they're climbing, they can make, as a reaction, you have to have a reaction available. a strength athletics check against the climb DC of the surface +5, the DC +5. If you succeed, you don't fall down the pit or whatever, or fall off the wall. You're just dangling there, sort of like prone. Not exactly prone because you're not physically prone, but it's kind of the same effects as prone. Now, in this case, the target, the dragon, actually has a climbing speed. It doesn't normally have to make ability checks to climb surfaces. But I think there is a chance that the knight could knock it off due to the Battle Master maneuver, the trip attack. So here's what I'll do. I'll give the dragon advantage on its athletics check. So it's going to roll with advantage. It's going to be a DC of 20 instead of 15 due to the difficulty of the moment. It rolls miserable on both of the dice. So it falls. It's just going to take 1d6 of falling damage. It wasn't up that high. So there's 3 bludgeoning damage to the dragon, and now it legitimately is prone there on the ground. This is exactly what the knight had hoped for, and he will make his second attack with his longsword, and he will attack with advantage due to the prone target. I'll just roll that twice there. Definitely a hit, so this will be the longsword damage this time. And I think he will put in another Battle Master maneuver. Which one should he use? He'll just put another trip attack on there, even though the target's already prone. It gets him an extra d8. I'll do 1 reroll for a savage attacker. I guess it's sort of like an advantage on the damage roll. You take the better of the 2. Okay, the first one was better. He's done a total of 18 damage to the dragon. And the dragon is now down into the red. The red dragon's in the red. Now is the time for the fighter to use Action Surge. And he summons all of the might and the righteous vengeance from within him and will attack twice more with advantage for the target being prone. 20 will hit. And let's do the second attack. I'll just roll both the attacks now. And a 23 will hit. He's hit twice more with his longsword. That is a total of 19 damage. And he's got 1 more Battle Master maneuver to add in. So he'll put that in there as well. For 8 more, that is 27, and he has slain the dragon already. Oh, that's awesome. I actually did 2 trial runs of this because I had to really familiarize myself with some of the new fighter features and feats and stuff. And both the trial runs, it was a much longer fight. The second one actually went quite long, and it ended with both of them very hurt. The knight got the treasure and he escaped. He got out. But this one he did better than any other and just completely took down the dragon. That, dragons, is why you do not want to get into melee. But the dragon, it couldn't have known that the fighter had that trip attack. So, Sir Knight, your quest has ended in great victory. And he goes and makes his way to the treasure hoard. Not only is he reclaiming the ancestral chalice of his family, but looks like there's quite a lot of coins and a few treasure boxes in there. Well done, Knight. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this one. It ended up being shorter than I expected. I really enjoyed this one personally. If you're interested in supporting the channel, check out my Patreon to become a supporter, or check out my online shop. I make 5e books, modules, things that are built to be well crafted, filled with inspiration fueling and adventure fueling content for both players and game masters. I look forward to seeing you all in another video sometime soon, everyone. As always, may your adventures be many.